Hello, my beautiful, boring people. My name is Victoria. If you're new here, hello. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. Thanks to Twitter, I'm joining you today as a glamorous sock because I didn't sleep much last night and I was like, do I want to do more of a 1950s vibe with red lipstick and winged eyeliner, or do I want to go glamorous sock? And the votes came in and now I'm a glamorous sock, so that wasn't dramatic enough, so you're welcome. What am I doing? Anyways, I'm like really enjoying making tag videos, and by making tag videos I mean participating in tag videos right now. And as you can see, I don't have a very large library collection just yet, but I'm working on it. This is my TBR shelf. I will make a video about that after I get a couple more books that are coming in the mail, so look out for that if you're interested. But in this video, I wanted to bring you the Under the Influence of Booktube tag, which was originally created by Olive from A Book Olive, and it just sounded like a lot of fun. I found this tag because I was looking for tags to do that didn't involve huge libraries, and now I'm doing it, so hi, hello, I hope you enjoy this. The first question is, what's a fantastic book you read off of the recommendation of another booktuber? And oppositely, what's a book that you were talked out of reading because of a booktuber's review? So I am actually currently reading the Lightbringer series by Brent Weeks because of Starla Reed's recommendation. It just sounded really cool. Like, she made a new video and she's like, I have a favorite new author. I'm like, what? Because your like queens are Neil Gaiman and Victoria Schwab, and I love Victoria Schwab. I haven't gotten into a whole lot of Neil Gaiman yet, but then she was talking about Brent Weeks and this cool magic system in the Lightbringer series, and it just sounded so interesting because it has to do with colors and how light and prisms and colors work to do magic. So I'm really enjoying that right now. And she also convinced me not to read The Escape Room after she made a rant video on it. It was a good book review. I enjoyed it. But yeah, like after she kind of talked about that a bit, I was like, well, I was thinking about reading it in October because spooky vibes and creepy and escape the room feels. And that's all fun. But then she talked about it and I was like, oh no. Oh no. So I'll link her videos for that down in the description below if you'd like to check those out. Number 2, has Booktube opened your mind or changed your mind about any genre or genres? I don't know about necessarily changing my mind about genres because I'm fairly open to different stuff and I'm more of a mood reader, but I will say that it's rekindled my love of reading because I mean, for years, I wasn't reading. I read a lot as a child, and then I read all of the assigned stuff in high school, and then in college I just got too busy. I've already talked about that story. But now I'm back into reading, and I'm here for it. I am enjoying it. It is my number one form of entertainment right now. I will say that Booktube has broadened my horizons for subgenres that I didn't know existed. So that's cool. I'm learning the names of specific things so that I can get better at describing more of what I like, or just learning about new types of books. So that's fun. Number 3, how much time did you spend on YouTube before Booktube, and how much time do you spend on it now? I've been watching copious amounts of YouTube videos since 2007, 2008-ish, whenever we finally moved to a region where we could get decent internet speeds to stream 360p video. Yeah. Anyways, I've had several different YouTube accounts for like creeping and stuff, and I started creating videos while I was in undergrad, really. Well, actually right before that too, because I did produce some stuff in high school, but I didn't really publish it. But I was getting into video editing a teeny bit at that point so that I knew I liked it by the time I got to college. But I never really interacted with other people's videos that much. I would observe them and I would creep, but I didn't actively participate on channels. And one of my challenges to myself this year was to get out of my comfort zone and not be a complete sock and introvert and just put myself out there a little bit. And it's been a lot of fun now. So yes, I'm spending more time on YouTube than I was before because I'm interacting with stuff, but I've always spent a lot of time on YouTube. Number 4, how many books did you read per month or year before Booktube versus now? This is hard for me to answer because, again, I just really got back into reading. I would say, like in high school, not counting only textbooks, I was probably reading, 5-6 books a year. Well, actually that depends, because if you count audiobooks, because I've always been a huge lover of audiobooks, in which case I read a lot, or I read the same books multiple times, because at that point I was having like cassette tapes and CDs. Please tell me you all know what a cassette tape is. I'm not that old, am I? And I got really upset when my tape deck actually ate my cassettes, and then I'd have to try to fix it, and then you'd have that bump in the tape, and then it would skip. Anyways, that's not directly related to this question. I read virtually nothing for the past, 6-7 years before now, and this year, from May to now, I've read over 90 books. So yeah, you could say that I'm now a binge reader. Number 5. Has Booktube affected your book buying habits? And if so, are you pleased or displeased by this? Yes, absolutely. So before this, I've had an Audible account for a while, so I have digital copies of stuff. And I've also had a Kindle for quite a while, because I found out in undergrad that it was cheaper for me to buy a Kindle and rent my e-textbooks than it was for me to rent the physical copies of the textbooks, and then I could take notes natively and highlight stuff natively and get to keep my notes that way, and then it would automatically page mark for me and consolidate those. So as a college student, I really got into ebooks. That was fabulous. But I hadn't really kept a physical library because I was moving a lot. I was a military brat as a kid, and when you have movers to help you move stuff, it's fine. But in high school when we moved, we didn't get movers. In college when I was moving all the time, it was just me and a group of friends, and moving a bunch of book boxes was not something I was interested in. So my husband and I bought our house, and when we moved into this house, we said, we're not moving stuff all on our own next time. We're gonna hire a little bit of help, which we did have friends for our move into here, but it would be really nice to have some professional movers next time. So that's what we're gonna do. And because other people are going to be lifting my book boxes, now I'm okay with collecting a library. Am I happy with this? Yeah, I would say so, because I enjoy reading and sharing books, and my husband enjoys fantasy and stuff, so I'll buy a physical book and then we'll trade back and forth and be able to talk on them. But if I wanted to lend it to a family member or a friend, I totally can now. That's awesome. So from a mental standpoint, my brain is saying yay, but from a fiscal standpoint, my wallet is saying ow. But I do try to get most of my books on sale or used, depending on what it is, used like new. If I'm buying a book for my collection, I want it to be in fairly decent shape. Number 6. Has a review by a booktuber ever retroactively made you reconsider your stance on a book? Not really. I haven't been a part of Booktube for that long from a consumer standpoint, so I guess I haven't had my thoughts on books challenged that much. I did watch somebody else's Aurora Rising review, and they didn't like it, and I can totally see why. but for the reasons that they didn't like it, I was kind of there for it because I'm trash for ridiculous tropes, especially when they're hammed up. So I kind of wish I had included those sorts of details in my original reviews, if that makes sense. But I'm still trash for Aurora Rising. That's not changed. I am open to that though. Like, I believe in having your opinions challenged so that you can learn and grow. So if that ever does happen, I'm not against it. Number 7. Are there any videos you've been inspired to make after another booktuber's videos? And have you ever felt inspired by another booktuber's style? This meaning their video style, book organizational style, personal style, anything relating to style. Yeah, but don't ask me to name people individually for this one because I'm not a super stan of anyone just yet, except for Starla, because I know her personally and she got me back into books because she showed me her channel when she was like very early on starting out, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then after a while of watching her videos, then I got into Booktube, and then I got into reading again, and now we're here. But I mean, yeah, these tag videos are fun. I'm really enjoying these right now. As far as book organizational things, I'm still trying to figure that out for myself. I mean, it's fun to see all the different bookshelves. I enjoy watching Bookstagram, and man, am I inspired by some of the Bookstagram posts because, whew, some people put a lot of work into those photos and they're beautiful, and I'm not that talented yet, but maybe eventually I'll get there. That's kind of an aspirational goal. And also, I would say that I really enjoy fairy lights, so I want to collect those at some point. And like the dark feel of the Wild Sasha's videos are really fun for me. Like, just her contrast and the bookshelves in the background. It looks really cool. I'm definitely nowhere near that yet, and I don't know that I'll ever be, but it's friggin' cool. I would also say that I take some styling tips from @SimplyNailogical, if you've ever watched her videos, because she is the sock queen, and that just means you enjoy being like really comfy all the time. So yes, I am part of the sock queendom. I would say that I'm very much influenced by that. Number 8. What are some pressures you feel on your reading life because of your channel? I would say that sometimes I feel like I'm not reading enough, or that I'm not taking good enough notes as I'm going through a book so that I can do a really well-structured review on it. Like, I suck at remembering names, and I really should probably draw out my own character trees and stuff to keep track of everybody and what's going on. But at the same time, I'm just there to consume the story. So I'm trying to still find that balance in between, you know, what makes a good review versus me just consuming and enjoying stories. I also feel a great deal of pressure to do reading wrap-ups, because those are really cool. Like, you get to see all the books and stuff, but at the same time, the amount of books that I've been reading, it gets completely overwhelming, and then I'm like, I suck at book reviews. And now I've got to do truncated book reviews for like 20 to 30 books per month, and that's just intimidating. I don't even know if I'll continue to do them or not. I may just say, hey, these are all the books I read, and I'm only going to talk about these few, because that would take a lot of pressure off of me. Let me know in the comments how you kind of handle that sort of a thing. I'm interested to hear. Number 9. In what way, if any, do you feel the social element of the community has influenced your reading? And do you think about books differently since joining? Well, I'm adding a lot more queer stuff to my list, because before I was just having problems finding those types of books and whatnot, because your girl grew up in the Bible Belt. She doesn't know the queer authors yet, even though she is queer. So I've really enjoyed that. But no, I don't think about books that differently since joining Booktube. I don't know. I read books, I consume them. Sometimes I enjoy them, sometimes I don't. And number 10, what impact do you hope your own channel will have on the Booktube community and or aspiring booktubers? Well, I want to foster open, constructive conversations. I do not stand cancel culture. I think we need to have our opinions challenged so that we can either affirm our opinions or grow and change. And having an open dialogue is key in order to grow and learn. And sometimes playing devil's advocate is necessary, just so you know why you think the way you do. But at the same time, I'm definitely not trying to foster a cult. Like, cults won't let you challenge their beliefs. We don't stand cults here. I want you to challenge everything, question, ask why. I love asking why. As another example of this, I am part of a Facebook book club, and one of the people posted recently, there's a news article where somewhere, some Catholic school, I don't know how the diocese and all that jazz work, but somewhere along the line, one of the guys said, you know what, we're pulling Harry Potter. They're not allowed in our school's library. We're not reading them. It's witchcraft. It's literal witchcraft. No. And that group is fairly open, so we could have a conversation about that. I personally don't understand the people who take it so literally and get offended by it, but I enjoy seeing that conversation happen. Like, I still want to hear that argument for funsies. I don't have to understand you, but I can listen. Also, I kind of wish the Harry Potter world was real, because I want to go to Hogwarts. Like, who doesn't? I mean, that would be fun. Just swish and flick and your chores are done. Everything's cleaning itself in the household. Man, that would be nice. I hate dusting and doing dishes. Just imagine going bloop and it's all done. I'm there for that. I'm there. So that's the wrap up for my Under the Influence of Booktube tag. I will link the stuff I talked about down in the description box below. If you made it this far in the video, comment and leave me llama somewhere in your comment down below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!